Every single day, Activision just finds a completely new way to completely F the community, and it's just getting absolutely beyond parody now. So this is all coming from a recent leak from the Ghost of Hope that apparently Activision are going to be testing for Black Ops 7 COD 2025 a new style of battle pass in which high-tier limited time modes, which might not even be limited time anymore, as well as high-tier skins that would usually be bundles, are going to be exclusive to the Battle Pass. And what the hell is possibly going on here? This is showing there is clearly somehow, and I don't even know how because they're literally making billions, they are struggling, I think, in financing the post-launch content. Because yes, the microtransactions make a boatload of money, but I think in terms of Activision's budgeting, they see the limited time modes as not being that effective in generating more revenue towards said microtransactions than they would anyways. So in order for them to justify even making limited time modes and having bigger and better limited time modes in the future, they need to have a way, in addition to the microtransactions they're already doing, to financing these modes. And I just don't even know what to think. You know, there's rumors we might be getting a classic mode or grief returning for Black Ops 7. Modes that were rumored for this game as well that might have been getting saved instead for Black Ops 7. What if they end up getting locks behind the Battle Pass? I never buy the Battle Pass. I've bought it maybe once in my entire life. It's a complete waste of money for me. I don't care about any of the cosmetic stuff and the, you know, sometimes obviously they have some gameplay stuff. Obviously they put the weapons in there, but to me, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to waste all of this money just buying these battle passes non-stop because I guess they're addictive for people as well. And, you know, if they're going to start locking modes in Black Ops 7, you know, I don't care about them locking the skins that would usually be bundles behind them, but locking modes is just absolutely ridiculous. And I just hope this means we might be getting better modes. Obviously, with Modern Warfare 2019 onwards, they stopped doing paid-for DLC, they stopped doing season passes, and since then, I think the quality, honestly, has decreased a lot, and I think it's, like I said, there's some sort of financing problem going on. You know, it is rumoured that we might just be getting one more map, Janus Towers, for Black Ops 6 Zombies. There's contrasting rumours right now, so we don't know. But if Janus Towers ends up being the final map, which we'll probably know soon, as we're nearing closer to the Season 4 announcements, if that ends up being true, then I do think there is some sort of problem in terms of the financing for the post-launch content. Even though I think Black Ops 6 Zombies has been doing pretty well in handling the post-launch content, the limited time modes, especially for Zombies, have not really been worth it. And if they are planning to do bigger and better ones in the future, then, you know, maybe they need to generate money now that the maps are free. But honestly, if they're going to be locking modes behind the Battle Pass, at this point, just freaking bring back the old system, have paid for content. I know there is a lot of debate back and forth, but this way, they're basically dipping their toes in having paid for content once again. Why not go the extra mile if it means that we're going to get better financing? Because, you know, the rumors for Black Ops 7 Zombies are that we're going to have a lot more bombastic and out there map locations, such as a moon base or Shohan Temple with an erupting volcano. And, you know, if they are planning to do these more out there locations, then it needs budgeting for that. And the microtransactions, probably especially for Zombies, are not generating them enough money, which is why recently they changed the Gobblegum cooldown timer to just 5 seconds instead of 5 minutes. So the Gobblegums have clearly not been generating them enough money. We know from the recently released Black Ops 3 documents that the Gobblegums in that game were not generating them enough money, and that's why they ended up making them a lot more overpowered. That's why they ended up giving you a free ones at the start of rounds before then having to pay for them, because they were trying to get ways for people to buy them more. And we're seeing a repeat with Black Ops 7. The microtransaction system is not working. It doesn't make sense for a premium release. Honestly, I would say F all of these goddamn freaking microtransactions. Don't have battle passes, don't have skins, just have goddamn paid for content. I would honestly rather that, honestly. I don't think both can exist in a paid for game. It works with a game like Fortnite because it's free to play, and it's fine if it was just for Warzone, but it's bleeding into the other releases as well. Activision are just always going to find new ways to rinse us off money, and yeah. I don't know, there's always just something wrong. There always is. It's just like you can never be excited for Call of Duty. You know, there's rumours about the campaign not being great for the game. There's now rumours about them changing the microtransaction system. It's just like, when can we ever be genuinely excited for what's to come when we know there's always the prying freaking claws from above latching onto it? It's just very frustrating. You know, I think Black Ops 6 has been a decent game. I think Zombies especially has been the standout mode. But overall, the game has not been, I think, what we were anticipating. Obviously, this will depend a lot on if Janus Towers is the final map or not. The storyline has definitely felt rushed, though. I don't think it feels like a 4-year game. But like I said, we really need to wait which rumours are true about how many Zombies maps are left. But the campaign's not been that great. Multiplayer's okay. Overall, though, I think, you know, people are sort of turning their eye on the game, and I think, you know, we're going to be getting another Black Ops game. Treyarch are making 2 games back-to-back, and that's the problem. Why these games are feeling rushed, because they're just doing too much. They're just doing too much. You look at GTA 6 recently, they delayed the game because they care about the products. They want to make sure it's going to be the most perfect thing upon when it actually releases. But Call of Duty will never, ever, ever delay a game, even if it needs it. And honestly, the day that a Call of Duty game does get delayed, honestly, will probably be the day the dominoes start collapsing for the Call of Duty empire, because I think the second they ever delay a game, it's all going to fall apart. Let's say they delay a game from fall to then, you know, midway the next year. It's going to completely mess up the flow of the annual games, and I think the whole system will completely fall apart if they ever delay it, and that's why I don't think they ever will. Even if the game is in the absolute poorest state as possible on launch, they'll never delay a game. They just never will. That their empire is built on the Call of Duty cycle, having annual games. It means that even if a game ends up being messy, they can just start hyping the next game, you know, 6 months later, and they can move on to the next thing immediately without any concerns, any single worries. I think that's why Call of Duty's been able to be so rigorous and have this foothold in the gaming industry for so long. It's been literally 20 plus years that they've been on top, and the reason why is because they pump things out at a ridiculous pace that no other gaming franchise has even come close to, beyond, you know, like FIFA or something, but they are even more generic. That's why they've been able to stay on top, because they just are constantly pumping shit out, constantly throwing shit at the wall, and some of them stick, most of them fall, and it just means that we're all trapped in that cycle. But yeah, I'm really rambling. This is not good news, not good news. I really don't think so. I'm really concerned. I'm hoping that obviously this is not true. It is a rumor, it is a leak, and obviously we have to take it with a grain of salt, and especially now that it's leaked, Activision are going to see all of the community feedback. But at the same time, people complained when they had Black Cell before, which again is ridiculously overpriced, and yet they're still pumping them out because Black Cell is literally one of the best-selling things every single time they release it. So they're literally just banking on crazy things, because, you know, you have to bear in mind the actual maps themselves take way more time than just a skin, and the skin is the thing that's making all of the money. I've heard so many things behind the scenes, and it's like you can clearly see so many resources are being taken to focus on the Battle Pass content and focus on the bundles. You know, you look at all of the complex animations for all of these wacky, you know, inspect animations and things that they have. That talent that's been put in to make these absolutely phenomenal animations and things could be used for content in the maps. But instead it's being used for these things that, even if you buy it, what's the point? There's a billion different inspect animations you can buy. What makes that one special? And honestly, most people probably don't buy them. There's probably only a small percentage, but they're buying so many or so often. And, you know, I've never even bought a bundle, but clearly people are buying a lot. You know, even if everyone just buys one, that's going to make them more money than the games are ever able to generate on their own. And there's people, you know, buying, you know, they're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every single year just eating this stuff up. So the system's never going to change because it's working, clearly. I don't know what to think of this. I'm just really concerned, and I just hope it doesn't affect Zombies too much. I'm hoping that these limited time modes are more so stuff that's going to be for multiplayer or Warzone, but I assume it's probably going to be for all modes, so I don't know. There's always a catch. You can't be excited for an upcoming classic mode. You can't be excited for Grief, because God knows what ends up happening. It might end up getting locked behind a freaking paywall in something that's just meant to be for visual and cosmetic things. What the hell?